I was in the treasurer's office when she was state treasurer, and was a marketing representative for the Illinois Funds investment programs. I had about 22 counties or so when I started off marketing for that. But then they also had us do marketing and field work for some of the other programs, and then we also did advanced work for her when she was out doing press tours and different things. We would do advanced work for her and things. So we got to know her pretty well, and she was a great lady.
Yeah. When you remember her, what's a moment you remember from your time working for her that still sticks out to you?
I got a couple of them. One was actually before I actually started working for her. Went down there for inauguration day, and after they had the ceremonies, all the constitutional officers, you can walk through their offices and meet them, take pictures with them and stuff. So we went to Judy's office, and we're walking through, getting our picture taken, and she's got her dress on like she had for inauguration, and on her feet she had fuzzy bear slippers. It's just like, hey, my shoes were hurting me, so I just put my bear slippers on. It was below the desk, because all the pictures they were taking were desk high and above. So it was kind of cool. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
And then the one parade we were at, I was advanced nerd at this parade. I think it was in Toulon or somewhere up in Stark County, somewhere in that area. But we were advanced nerd for this parade. It was summertime. It was hotter than the dickens. And long parade, we're going through, and I'm getting overheated, just sweating like crazy. And she's like, well, you're feeling all right? I was like, yeah, I'm just hot. So she ends up pulling me into the convertible that she's riding in, has me sit in the convertible with her while she finishes the rest of the parade. And then after the parade's done, she's like, are you okay? You need to go to the doctor? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I was overheated and stuff. So then the next 2 weeks, I'm getting office emails from her, directly from her, saying, I want to make sure you need to check up with your doctor, make sure everything's good. How'd the doctor's appointment go? If you need medical assistance, you need to go to see a specialist, and let us know. We've got contacts in Chicago. We've got contacts that'll get you with top-notch, best medical attention you need for whatever they say. It was like, I just got overheated. It was okay. It was just a hot day. I just needed a glass of water. But she was that concerned about me to go out and follow up and make sure that, and then offer up, we'll get you in contact with these people to get you world-class health care, whatever you need. We'll get you pointed in the right direction and work our way. It's like, that's cool. Is that personal touch that you wouldn't expect from a constitutional officer? You'd expect them to be, oh yeah, I had a staff person who got overheated. Somebody better check on them. You have the department head find out. But no, she was the one that was making contact. So that always sticks out in my mind as one of my favorite Judy moments.
Yeah.
There's lots of favorite Judy moments. She was a character.
What was she like to work with? Was she pretty hands-on?
She was very hands-on. Very hands-on, but also wasn't micromanaging. In our marketing stuff, we go out. I was on investment programs. We were marketing to local investment or marketing to local governmental entities, fire districts, school districts, municipalities, different things. She had a mind like a steel trap. So if she met somebody at a conference or met somebody someplace down the road and they had a contact or knew something, she'd fire that information off to us. We'd get emails. Hey, you know what? I talked to the fire chief of a little fire protection district. They hadn't heard about Illinois Funds. Make sure you go down and see them. And then she'd follow up with us. Have you gotten in contact with them yet? How'd the face-to-face go? And it wasn't just, you couldn't just drop off material. You needed to make sure you had a meeting with them and were able to report back to her what the conversation was like and if they signed up or not. And I mean, it was just a great thing. She was very active, very participatory in the process, and loved it. I mean, she was just God, and we knew that. We knew that if Judy said, hey, I made contact with this person, we better make sure we make contact with that person and make sure that we follow through, because at any point in time we could get a question, and it could be 6, 8, 12 months down the road. Oh yeah, hey, that meeting with that fire chief, how'd that go? Well, that was a year ago. Yeah, I know, but I can't remember how it went. How'd it go? It's like, did you get them signed up for Illinois Funds? Did you get them signed up, or did you get them taking care of what they needed? Because she would just remember that. I mean, once she got to know you, she would remember you from like you were your best friend and seen her the day before. It was amazing. I have no idea how she could keep all of that information straight. but it was fun. I learned a lot of how to run an office and how to be a good public servant, because she didn't care about party affiliation. She was in office to help the citizens of the state of Illinois. And if somebody had a great idea, that's a great idea. You need to run with that thing, whether they were an R, a D, a green, a purple, whatever it was. It didn't matter. She wanted to get stuff done and just push hard to get it all completed. It was great.
As a former employee, what would you say her legacy will be when we talk about this 5-10 years from now?
That people that know her and that knew of her knew that she was a hard worker. She was a pit bull. I mean, she got on a project. We're going to see this thing to completion, and it's not just completed and left it there. It was completed and improved. I mean, the Illinois Funds program, when I was there, was just starting the ePay program, where they had credit card acceptance. So I was one of the first marketers that got to work with it, and I actually got to run the program for a while the program director was out on maternity leave. So I got to have some in contact with them, and she's like, "We want to sign them up for ePay." She'd go out and talk to people. You know what? Hey, this municipality's taking credit cards, and your convenience fees are pretty high. You need to go and find out and check with them. She was a hands-on, go-getter, great people person, and I mean, everybody that met her and got to know her, you had to love her. I mean, it was just one of those things. It wasn't I'm the elected official up on a platform. It was, I'm down here face to face with you. You know what? I'm not afraid to go out and walk in the parade by myself. If I got to go out there and walk doors, go face to face with whoever it is, she was going to do that. And it motivated the rest of us to make sure that we wanted to live up and make Judy happy. We wanted to make sure if our boss is out there doing that, we need to be out there doing that too. So hard work, dedication, and I think she worked 28 hours in a day. I mean, I don't know when she slept, because she was a big news hound. So she was a reporter in her previous life. Mm-hmm. So I think that carried over into her political career, because she would go and read all these newspapers and cut out articles and stuff and send them to us. You know, hey, this is an article on something project we were looking at doing, just for your information, or if there was anything we wanted, she was sending us stuff. People were having anniversaries, 50th wedding anniversaries, 75th wedding anniversaries, 100th birthdays and stuff. She'd send cards to them. I mean, and she wanted us to, you know what, if you find somebody that's got something to doing great in your community, you need to let us know. And she'd send them a letter, she'd send them a card. That's hands-on, that's beyond politics. That's just being a great person. Mm-hmm. And I always have a warm spot in my heart for her. And it's just, it's been a tough day.
Yeah. And how will you remember? What would her personal legacy on you be?
I learned, like I said, I learned a lot on how to be a good, not necessarily a politician, but a good public servant. Mm-hmm. She had a servant's heart and volunteered for all these different things. She was a huge humane society, loved animals. I mean, she had dogs and stuff in the vans when they were traveling. They'd at least have a couple dogs with her all the time. I mean, she'd rescue pets and things, and if she couldn't keep them, she'd try to find staff members that'd be willing to take them. So there's many times she was called up, "Hey, you don't have a dog or a cat, do you? Do you want a dog or a cat?" But just being that personable, being approachable. She never had a closed door policy. You could go and talk to her about anything. And it wasn't just staff, it was constituents too. If they needed to get in touch with her, you could actually get that face-to-face dialogue and conversation with her. And she would actually listen and actually care about what's going on, and not just, I gotta listen to you because this, that, or the other thing. So I mean, she was very, very personable. And that molded and kind of affected how I wanted to be in public life. She encouraged us, staff members, to improve themselves. And when I was contemplating running for this, for county clerk's office, she was very, very supportive. What do you need from us? How can we help you? You'll do a great job as county clerk. We know you're going to do great. We want you to achieve and be successful. How can we help you? So, do you need us to walk precincts for you? Do you need us to do this, that, or the other thing? Any little bit's helpful. But how to be a good campaigner, how to be a good person, and how to be a good politician. Just be honest and be truthful. And her philosophy was similar to my philosophies. If you don't tell anybody, you can just tell them the truth. This is what it is. And if you don't lie to people and spin them, then you don't have to remember what you told this person versus what you told that person, what you told that person. You just tell them straight out, this is what it is. then it makes it easier to remember what stories you told them, and that's exactly what Judy was. She would shoot from the hip, and very well versed on all these things. But she'd just been able to fire that stuff off, and it's the gospel according to Judy. And we loved it. I mean, she was just a hard worker, and caring, and truly, being a staff member and working for her, you felt like extended family, and that's a great thing to be. I mean, she had a huge staff. I mean, tons of people working for her, and she cared about every single one of them. I have absolutely no doubt that if anything had ever happened, I needed something, I wouldn't ever call her directly, but if she found out that, you know, I needed something, I was sick, or I needed this, or I needed that, it had happened in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she is truly one of a kind, and Illinois is going to, we're lucky to have her, and it's going to be tough to replace her. It's going to be big shoes to fill.